Well, you know, so many folks are struggling to dig out of debt in this tough economy. Looking for financial help, one woman turned to her church. Katrina Williams-Clements received 100 credit cards, racking up $500,000 in debt. Through her church, however, she learned how to overcome her debt. Now debt-free, she's enjoying spiritual as well as financial peace of mind. In fact, she's even written a book about her experience called Out of Debt, Out of Bondage. Katrina Williams-Clements joins us now to discuss her story on being delivered from debt. Katrina, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. This is an incredible story. 100 credit cards, and I understand you brought them with you. Can we see them?
Absolutely.
Show us, please. Oh, wow. Look at that. That is that's a collage
I have to
of...
even cover my face for you to see them all.
That's okay, but it's 10 across and 10 down. How did you manage to get 100 credit cards?
Well, actually, it started with pre-approved credit cards coming to me even before I finished nursing school. I also was very fortunate in that I was a game show contestant on The Price is Right, if I can say that. And I was the showcase winner of that show. And it was interesting that when I returned back from Los Angeles, the pre-approved cards started pouring in.
They zeroed right in on you. Now, all of those pre-approved cards that you received, 100 to be exact, I understand you used all of them. What did you spend it on?
Well, now, this is over a 15-year period of time that cards started coming in 1984 when I finished nursing school. For a 15-year period of time, I bought a Mercedes-Benz.
Wait, back up. You bought a Mercedes-Benz.
I bought a Mercedes-Benz with one of my Gold Chase cards. I knew that that would become due in 30 days. I then would take another credit card and pay off the Gold Chase. And I flip-flopped back and forth. Being a registered nurse, I had an opportunity to do a lot of overtime. And that's what I did to stay on top of this.
So now you realize at some point that you were in debt to the tune of $500,000. And you started working your way out of it. What finally turned you around? Because I think you told me once before that you were motivated by greed to keep doing this. So what happened at the First Baptist Church of Glenarden to help you realize the error of your ways?
Well, I'm very grateful to my pastor, John Kenneth Jenkins, Sr. at First Baptist of Glenarden, where he has a passion for the family and for marriages and for families to be wholesome. In order to do that, you really don't need to be in financial bondage. First Baptist offers about 13-week course in what's called financial freedom, and it's a part 1 and a part 2. The part 1 deals with biblical principles of how we as Christian individuals, and if you don't know God, you need to get to know Him to know what He intends for us to do with our finances.
Okay, so
and then there's part 2.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you apply these principles to your finances and continue to pay down your debt. But did the church offer you a rescue plan? Did the church offer you a bailout? Or did they say to you, you've got to be personal and accountable and responsible?
That is exactly it. I made them. It was a personal and irresponsible decision of mine, and the church equipped me with the financial principles that I needed to use to get out of this awesome pit of debt that I was in. I used every principle that I was taught, and it worked.
All right, such as budgeting, paying off your debt, getting out of debt, staying out of debt. You wrote a book about it. How many credit cards do you have right now, Katrina?
I have a debit card, and those funds come directly from my checking account whenever I use it.
Okay, look, I got to get this in real quick. I got to run because we're running out of time. If you had any advice to give to the President as well as members of Congress about how to cut their deficit spending, what would you advise them to do?
Well, my real advice would be to equip Americans with the knowledge of handling finances. I think it needs to start as early as even middle school. And please don't make credit so easily accessible to college kids. I mean, we don't even have a job yet, a lot of them, and they have credit cards already. So please make it mandatory, a mandatory education on dealing with finances.
Katrina Williams-Clements, I hope government leaders as well as corporate leaders are listening to you. Some sage advice. And congratulations to you for getting out of debt, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
My pleasure.
Isn't that incredible?
She's an inspiration, and I love 5th grade. I think it should start financial planning and education and being responsible about your money. She's great. Wow.
Good church, too. First Baptist
100
Church, Glen
credit
Ardn,
cards.
to
That's
offer
a
that.
big wallet to carry around.
Yeah.